From VCI Entertainment comes to Blu-ray a film that I'd long heard about, and I don't think I ever saw. Quackster Fortune Has a Cousin in the Bronx. It's a title you don't forget. So it's a title I've always remembered hearing about. This is from 1970. This is a Blu-ray, although I believe they also have it out on DVD. It stars Gene Wilder and Margot Kidder, and another person that you'll probably recognize in the film, but I'm not going to tell you who it is. And directed by Waris Hussein. This is one of those small 70s character study films that I used to see on TV as a kid that would be shown in an afternoon show or super late at night. Not a high-profile film, despite having two very high-profile stars. Shot in Ireland. See, I always assumed this was like a New York movie because of the Bronx thing. It's not. It's just something that's mentioned in the film. Basically, the deal goes a little something like this. Not going to tell you the whole story. Gene Wilder is Irish. Yes, in this film, he's Irish. Quackster. He has the Irish accent throughout the whole film, and he is a dung peddler. He is a poor guy. He makes his living by following around the streets of Dublin with his little wooden cart and a shovel, and he picks up any horse manure that he finds, and he walks around yelling, "Manure for sale, manure!" And anybody who needs manure for their flowers beds or for their flower box or whatever, he'll come up and he'll sprinkle the manure for a fee. And he makes his rounds. He has the pub that he likes to hit. He has the married woman whose husband is away during the day that he likes to hit. And doing all of this, going about his business, quirky guy that he is, he's really only interested in getting by. He still lives at home with his parents and family. He just getting by. He just wants to do his manure thing. And he bumps into manic pixie, wacky, free spirit Margot Kidder. They hit it off, and it is this oddball kind of love story for the remainder of the film. You know, will they end up together? Will what they have bloom so much like so many flowers with manure spread upon them? Will his preponderance of manure fertilize their love? I like this movie. It's a very small film. It's very quirky. It's quiet. There's not a lot to it, but it's goofy. And Gene Wilder is allowed to be kind of Gene Wilder goofy at times. And Margot Kidder is just this very young, very likable American that he meets who happens to be studying at the local university. If it's information that you can use, you do see Margot Kidder naked, which I don't know if she ever did in another film, which I was surprised. I knew her as Lois Lane in other films later than that. I think Little Treasure, maybe she played a dancer or a prostitute in that. I'm not trying to be salacious. I'm just trying to be historical here. And the transfer looks really good. It widescreen looks good. Audio I thought was a little bit muffled to me, and that might just be the limitation of the original release or the original elements, but it was a really fun watch. If you are interested in Dublin, or if you're interested in the Dublin of 1969, 1970 when this was shot, this is almost entirely shot outside. So you're looking at what that all looked like back then. There are some interiors, but even then the interiors, they might have been studio sets, but they really kind of feel like they were actual interiors. So it's one of those movies it's just a movie about people. There's nothing insane or fantastical that goes on. Nobody jumps a motorcycle onto a moving train, though. Any movie is better if they do that. This is just about people in a time and a place that's not quite there anymore. The two stars of this movie are not there anymore. And it's a sweet little film. You know, in the extras, somebody mentions it sort of being like The Graduate in some way. As far as the male-female dynamic in that, I kind of get that a little bit too. But it's the kind of movie they don't really make that often anymore, and that they excelled in the late 60s, early 70s. And again, so much I have nostalgia for movies I've never seen. So much of this is the kind of thing I would have caught if I was home from school sick or on a vacation day in the middle of the afternoon when this theater had this film package of all these films, and in order to get the films they wanted to play, they had to get other films from the same studio or licensor, and they would have to play them, and they would burn them off either late at night or in the middle of the afternoon, and that's where the quirky stuff would be. And Quackster Fortune Has a Cousin in the Bronx would have been something I would have seen on WPIX at 11 a.m. or 1 p.m. on a Wednesday or something like that. So one thing I did notice, and this may be corrected by the time you see it, I did notice one moment of digital freezing or breakup on my players in the film. Very brief. It wasn't really bad. It was just like a slight hesitation. So if you see that on your copy, you're not alone. This does have optional English subtitles. Let's see, the extras are a commentary by Robert Kelly, which is a very good, very entertaining commentary about everybody involved with the film and the time and the place and other films that are similar and stuff like that, which I found very informative and entertaining. You get a restored trailer that's 2 minutes where they essentially take the audio from the original trailer and they cut in clips from this new restoration to match the original trailer and recreate it. Sometimes they'll leave in the original titles. Sometimes they'll recreate the titles. I generally prefer the unrestored trailer, whatever it looks like, just to see what it really would have looked like, but that's fine. It approximates pretty closely what it would have looked like. You get the Night Visitor trailer, which is a really cool movie with Max von Sydow that nobody knows about. That's 2.5 minutes, and that is another one of those where they've recreated it with the new transfer, but kept the original audio and narration. And then you get an original Bird with the Crystal Plumage trailer that's 3 minutes. That's the Dario Argento Giallo classic. So packaging-wise, nothing too exciting, just images, not the original. I always prefer the original poster for me, and I think I looked it up, and the original poster is all just like critical quotes for how great the movie is, front and back there. VCI doesn't tend to get too fancy with their packaging. There's a little photo from the movie there. VCI, I like VCI a lot. They've been around for a very long time, and they're very dependable. They put out a lot of stuff nobody else puts out or nobody else would put out, and certain titles they have the license to for a long time, and they keep upgrading them too. So if you've never seen it, I do recommend it. If you like Gene Wilder, you really want to see this. If you like Margot Kidder, you really want to see this. And if you like just human comedy, light drama, I say light drama because it is serious at times, but overall the tone is relatively light. It's a really cozy film. It's a cozy rainy day movie. So Quackster Fortune. See, the title refers to the fact that Quackster, who's the Gene Wilder character, has a cousin in the Bronx. And that's always a thing where it's like, well, if things don't work out here, you could go to America and stay with your cousin in the Bronx. Quackster Fortune has a cousin in the Bronx. On Blu-ray. From VCI Entertainment.